What's going on, everybody? After making my video on cadence and it went viral, yeah, comment section blew up, forget it. It was dedicated to Jesse from Chris Miller's show, Jesse Coyle. Yeah, it was dedicated to him. He's the one, blah, 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 cadence this, cadence that. It's just irrelevant. Really? Well, maybe I can change your mind, Jesse. I'm just messing around. So, anyway, people are asking. I'm just making imaginary people up like everybody else does. Like, they'll say, oh, yeah, I got all these questions, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, I got all these questions on, well, how do you train on this and stuff? Well, uh, how do you train for this? Okay. Basically, this is how I do it. If you look at my Strava, you'll see that you'll have your threshold and you'll know basically either through wattage or through speed what your threshold's going to be, right? So either it depends on how you're feeling that day. Are you want to go a little above, a little below your threshold. You get on your trainer. You find where this threshold is. I'm gonna go by speed because I don't really do I don't work out through so I call it working out. I don't call it training. So I don't work out with power meter. Power meter for me is a tool that has dumbed down cycling. Actually, that's what I totally believe. It doesn't allow people to understand the bike, the gearing. It doesn't allow you to understand it. It just dumbs you down to one cadence, one, and you just push, in your that comfort zone till you increase your power. And that's just a dumb way to do it. Honestly, it really is. You just one pony, one trick pony thing. That's what you are. Once you doing only that, you don't have nothing else to you. You're just like a machine with one gear and brainless. So, how do I train for my cadence? Now, basically, when you're riding, you can use let's say two cadence per gear. So maybe let's say if we're in the lower gears climbing, you'll be let's say in a gear. I don't know how to word it, man, and I'm not one to like sit there and jot down things on a paper and tell you. I'm just raw. So each gear basically you might be able to keep 2 to 3 cadences per gear. It depends how good you are and how much you've trained on your cadence. So let's say you're in the lower gears and you can hold, let's say, 70 cadence or 65. Well, you need to train that. You need to stay in those lower gears and train that. But let's say you're on a ride, right? And this is going to be the outcome of training these. It's going to be the outcome of training your cadence. This is going to be the outcome of it. Instead of you having one set cadence, let's say at 85, you'll be able to switch gears, not switch gears, I apologize, not switch gears, and stay in that gear and use, let's say, a 60 cadence. 65 is a huge difference. When you go to 65 is a huge difference. And let's say 70 into 75 in that same cadence. So now when you feel that you've overly stressed your cardio, because once you go higher, you're stressing your cardio. Once you go lower, you're stressing your muscular and your power. So once you feel that, that's when you start to go to a lower gear, which you can handle, which would be, let's say, a 65. If you were at 70 or 75, you would go to 60, 65 and be able to stay in that gear and handle that cadence. That's how you have more gears using your cadence. Now, how do I train for this? Well, I don't like to be outside to train. Everything I do in my training is indoors, and you can see your progression through these small intervals every day because you're just progressing every day slowly. So basically, what I will do is if I'm going to be in the lower gears or the higher gears, I'm going to pick a gear that whatever gear I'm going to if I'm gonna be hitting lighter gears to either work on my cadence and work on my cardio and respiratory, that's when I'll have it in a higher gear, and my cadence is gonna be at a higher cadence. I'll pick that one gear for that day, and I'll say, okay, today I'm gonna work out on a 90 cadence, 95, 90 to 95. I'll see where I feel comfortable, and you find what speed is your threshold or below or above, however you're feeling that day, and you keep it there for an interval. And you're working on that 90 cadence, moving, let's say, at 20 to 21 or 22 miles an hour, whatever feels comfortable that day, and you keep it there. Sustain that speed using that cadence. Either it's 90 to 95, and you sustain that just there, working on it. And then the next day, maybe you feel you want to, lower your cadence or even higher it, depending on if you've been stressing your muscular system. You want to hit a few days maybe of higher cadence to help you recover. And that's how you work on your different cadences throughout the week. And when you're on a ride and you've reached, let's say, you started off your ride and you're in one gear, you can feel out that gear and be like, okay, I'm at 60 cadence right now. I know I can handle this till 70 cadence, which that is an extra gear right there. And then that's when you will change. Or maybe you can handle it up to 80 cadence, 90 cadence, whatever. And that's when you'll change to get to the other gear. And that's how you'll have multiple gears just through your training. I just wanted to hit on this so people can understand how you train for this because a lot of people can't figure it out. What do I do? Just go on a ride and start going crazy, hitting 40 cadence, 60, 70? How do you do it? No. You pick each day you focus on one cadence. You do an interval of an hour, half an hour, whatever you feel, or how hard you're going too. The harder you go, the less time, obviously. And that's how you work on different cadences. If you look at my Strava, you can see that there's days that I'll be in 40, there's days that I'll be in 60 cadence, 70 cadence, and you'll see I'll just keep it there. It's flat line through my whole ride. Flat lines, you'll see there won't be no jump through my cadence, speed, heart rate, anything. The heart rate might go up, just like slightly, just of course elevate across, but that's how you do it, and the day to day you can see your progression, and that's how you increase your fitness. I'm a strong believer of working out, not riding to get fit. I work out to get fit, and then that's when I go out and I ride. A lot of people will actually ride to get fit. I don't see it that way. I actually see it like I'm not gonna go out to ride to get fit. I'm gonna work out to get fit, and I will do squats, lunges, and deadlifts, stuff like this to work on my power. I'm actually very lazy. And that's what basically makes me do this working out. I'm not really one of these guys that'll do 80, 90 mile a ride, 100-mile ride 3, 4 times a week. I can't do that. It's just to wait. There's no way I can do that. There's no way. That's why I fell into this structured training since many years ago. People wouldn't understand it, and they all blamed me for taking steroids because they couldn't understand how effective structured training using intervals is. Couldn't understand it, you know. These cyclists today that are breaking records are using this method, not anything else. That's what's breaking these records, is their different training, you know. That's another story for another time. I really want to get into something about that, you know. Yeah. But yeah, to Jesse and to Chris, that was for you guys. Always talking about cadence not having any relevance in cycling. I want to leave you guys with this. What can give you the greatest picture of of imagination when you're looking at numbers? If you're looking at someone's numbers, power, heart rate, whatever, what gives you the greatest imagination image of them riding? It would only be their cadence. That's when you can actually see their legs moving and be like, oh wow, that guy was spinning out. Or oh, slow cadence, or this powering out up a hill, blah blah blah. You understand? That's how important cadence is. I don't understand why it's irrelevant in cycling. But for me, you'll see my computer. I have my computer set up um, time, um, what is it? Speed, average cadence, and elevation, and yeah, basically that's it. That's all I look at. I look at my cadence, my average cadence, and my average speed on my ride when I go. I don't ever look at my power. That is irrelevant to me. That is totally irrelevant to me. Power, and that's why I'm telling you guys, power is dumbing everybody down. It's a great tool to learn how to sustain and do intervals with, and to help you, gain fitness. But it's definitely dumbing everybody down. I said it with the second it came out. I don't know if everyone remembers, but I was on GNC and everything. I was telling everybody this tool's gonna dumb everybody down. And in my opinion, that's basically what it did, because everyone's just dumbed out there pushing on one. You could see them; they're just dumbed down. I mean, even the professionals got dumbed down. They got stronger, but it wasn't the power meter that got them stronger. It was interval training, using structured interval training. That's what got them stronger, not the power meter. Power meter did not help bullshit. They could have still sustained the way I've been doing it when there was no power meters in bike shops to buy for everybody. It wasn't a mainstream product for everyone, So for me, what I used to train was my cadence and my speed. That was my number one thing. And yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to say, is that that's how important cadence is. And the image that I gave you guys with looking at someone's data and imagining the person on the bike, the only thing that can give you the greatest picture of their effort is their cadence. That's how you can imagine how they were, so for that to just not be relevant in cycling today is ridiculous. I mean, the cadence is everything. From recovery to power, it's everything. Low cadence is growing power. High cadence is working your cardio and your respiratory. VO2 max. Now let's get into that for a second, okay? VO2 max is bullshit. When you see that stuff pop up on your Strava telling you VO2 max great, yay, it's bullcrap. Bullcrap. Total bullcrap. VO2 max is your respiratory. Respiratory can only be measured through a respiratory device. There's no way that it can be measured through some thing. It's like, what are they looking at? Are they looking at heart rate, cadence, and speed or power to it makes no sense. It's like trying to gauge power through looking at someone's heart rate or cadence. How can you do that? It can't be, it just can't be done. You need that tool, and there's a tool to do the VO2 max, which cannot be measured without a respiratory mask. You know, measuring your what you exhale. So now, that's bullcrap. So I wanted to mention that many times before, but the more complicated they make it, the more scared you. It's like fear mongering, coming up with all these things, and then you're like, oh my god, I need these people to help me. It's not that complicated. Trust me, it's not that complicated. VO2 max. You see, they don't even know how to actually measure it. Like to test it. I'm sorry, I apologize. To test it, they go in low cadence. Low cadence is just stressing your muscular. That's how cycling training is. It's in its infancy. We are still learning and moving along. And let me tell you, I'm one of I'm one of the leaders here. I don't care what anybody says. I've figured out how to. I mean, what is the cause? The number one cause to fatigue sickness. I figured that out. I'm gonna make a video on that. But yeah, I mean, cycling training is in its infancy, and we're still moving along. We're still learning and going. And for them to sit there and be like, this is how you test for the VO2 max. It's absolute bullcrap. The going into 80 cadence and 90 cadence. That's absolutely retarded. I'm sorry, but that's absolutely stupid to even think that is a normal thing to test, and that's a really low cadence to be testing on a VO2 max. A VO2 max effort should only be tested when your cadence is above 100. I'm telling you, it has to be your cadence has to be above that to stress out your respiratory. Once your respiratory is stressed out, that's when uh, you can actually see how much oxygen your lungs are using. But if you're going to use your muscular is going to take out a lot of stress off of your respiratory. So you're not actually seeing what your VO2 max is. Because VO2 max should be measured honestly on the rollers without even applying any power to the legs. That's how the VO2 max should be measured. Is on the rollers. You can put it in 5311 and let the guy go, 110 cadence, or whatever he can hold for 8 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. That's how you test VO2 max. And you're gonna see. Listen, my video is gonna be up. That's gonna be the future testing to it. Remember my words. Remember, because whatever I've said always comes out. I'm ahead of the game. We're all gonna be here. This video is gonna exist, maybe. Who knows? But we're all gonna be here, and this video is gonna be before they created it, because I am the first to ever do structured training with using intervals in cycling. I used to use it in other sports, but it was never used in cycling. Cycling was, go ride your bike, go slow to get fast, do some hill climbs. That's it. That's all it was. There was no structured training for cycling, and I don't want to hear no bullshit that there was, because there wasn't. I talked to everybody at the time. There was no such thing. No such thing. Such a came out. Cycling came out with me. That's came out with me. I was the one that was telling everybody on the internet and everybody, calling them that, why would I go 130 miles so I can work on my training when I can just sit home and do 3 4 intervals and have the same fitness. I was the first one to ever mention these things. I'm talking about many years ago. Everybody was laughing at me, calling me a troll, because the cycling world is brainwashed to believe that you need to go out and do 100 miles to get fast. That's what they wanted you to believe. Probably to put wear and tear on your tires, on your bike, on your clothing, on everything, so they can make more money. That's all it is, I would think, you know? If you're not using your bike and you're getting fit, it doesn't benefit them. Okay? So you gotta question everything before anything. This is where you find truth out with me. This is facts. Anyway, blow up my comment section like the last video. I'll get to all the comments. I don't know if I'll have enough time. But yeah, thanks for everybody. The subscribers, whew, went through the roof. It was like my phone was blowing up. I was like, holy moly, it's happening. You know? Anyway, thank you very much. And yeah, Jesse, I'll see you out there in California with my boy Mark. Because you're making fun of his position. And I don't like that. Because that's my boy Mark. Alright, guys. Anyway, later, guys.